Morgan.
And I'm Jake, and this is
Neverland Navigation Radio.
Where today we will be giving a salute to all of the new changes coming to Disney's Hollywood studios, but mostly Muppet Vision 3D.
Of course.
There's been some major changes announced for Hollywood studios, and of course all of them are big, important news. But as you can tell by some of our set decorations today, Muppet Vision 3D is near and dear to our hearts, and it's looking like, at least in its current form, it will be closing. So we wanted to give a little celebration for it here today and discuss its future and the other changes coming to the park.
Right. This is not really something we thought was coming, but we will get into that later.
Absolutely. We have a lot to talk about, a lot of exciting news to go through. Before we dive in, though, we wanted to say thank you so much for clicking on this episode and viewing the show. Speaking of viewing, if you want to see the visual version of the podcast, our smiling faces, today, yes, smiling, also frowning. You can visit the Neverland Navigation Co. YouTube channel where we post the visual version every week. And if you're on a listening platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of the others, subscribing to the show and leaving a review letting us know that you enjoyed it would help our show so much, and we would really appreciate it.
Yes. It also helps if you are thinking about any kind of vacation, whether it be Disney or Universal or a cruise. If you send me an email at neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com, I am a free-to-you travel agent that can get you the same price you would be able to get yourself online or better. And I also do weekly deal monitoring to make sure you continue to have the best deal. And you get free trip t-shirts from our 5-star Etsy shop as a thank you for letting me help you book, because I get commission from wherever you are booking with. So if you're thinking about taking a trip, then this is a great way to help us out, help a small business, just emailing neverlandnavigationco@gmail.com.
All right, absolutely. Now, without further ado, we proudly present all of the changes coming to Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
Before we dive into some of these Hollywood Studios announcements, there's another Disney announcement very relevant to Walt Disney World that we kind of wanted to touch on, because Disney put out a new announcement regarding Destination D23. And what was that announcement, Morgan?
That announcement is that D23 will be held at Walt Disney World next year instead of Disneyland Anaheim area like it normally is. It seems like they're doing a back and forth thing now.
Yes.
Which for us who live in Florida, we really appreciate that.
Yeah, right? Kind of cool. We've got the both coasts have a park, and it's cool that we got to kind of flip-flop now. D23 being in Anaheim, Destination D23 being here in Orlando.
Yeah. So they announced a dates, and they announced a venue. So that's exciting. We've got August 29th through 31st of 2025.
Yeah.
And then the venue is Coronado.
Yeah, the Coronado Springs Resort.
Yeah.
We actually fairly recently did an episode all about the history of that hotel. And it is very cool. One of our favorites. Got a lot of story and cool design features going on. So we're excited for it to be appreciated by the convention goers of Destination D23. Yeah, and it is exciting to have it so close to home, because maybe we'll get to go if the digital lottery treats us kindly.
It's a lottery. We tried to go 2 years ago when it came, and it was at the Contemporary, but we just didn't get picked in the lottery. You got to get on there. You got to be on it the second that it comes out, and then it's a lottery thing. So
when we talk about this, we say it's like winning Taylor Swift tickets. Because people who are trying to buy those tickets had a heck of a time.
But do you think with concert tickets it's first come first serve?
Yeah,
because I've been told that this works differently, that it is like everybody gets put in, like that clicks on it in that second, and then it's a lottery.
I think it is different in that way. Yeah. I think the feeling might be the same if you don't get tickets.
It's the same. Yeah.
But I think, technically, I think the Ticketmaster system is it's a queue, and then it's a waiting room, a queue, and then it's a free-for-all.
Right.
This is a lottery, which is, the process of getting a ticket is different and is much more based on chance.
It feels the same.
Mhm.
Like, you think it's the same.
The
We
steps
didn't
are
even
kind of the
know.
same.
Yeah, we didn't even know it was a lottery until after the fact.
They do a similar process to this for other stuff too,
Yeah.
like pass holder previews,
Right.
cruise stuff. They'd like to do this lottery thing. So hey, hopefully it works out. We really like the art style of the title card that they released with the announcement. We love the colors going on; it's very cute.
Yeah.
But we also
very pretty.
noticed some of the things that they included on the artwork here, and we're wondering if they're going to be alluding to the announcements that they will be covering at Destination D23.
Yeah, because this is something that Disney does every once in a while.
Right. Most recently that I can remember. I think they did a little bit of this for Disney Treasure as well, actually, now that I'm thinking about
it. You might be right.
Because they included Hercules stuff
Yeah.
in the artwork, and then they didn't announce any Hercules, and we were like, what the heck?
Hercules was like,
right.
It was one of the first images you saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they announced that Hercules would be the musical that was on board, which is so exciting.
So exciting.
But anyway, so Disney has a history of doing this. So let's talk about a few of the things that they have featured.
Oh, you were saying most recently you saw it.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
On the Disney Treasure and on the Phantasmic teaser artwork that
Right.
they put out before they made the full announcement. They included things like Moana's ore, the crystals from Frozen 2, the lamp from Aladdin, and those.
Right. But they hadn't said that any of those things were going to be in it.
Exactly.
And that's pretty subtle. It's not like they had a picture of Moana and Elsa. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was like their equipment.
But I like that.
Yes.
I like that it is like we thought that it was like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, right. It's like you're a detective.
I love that.
So we're being detectives with this.
Yeah, let's be detectives, and maybe we can work out. Maybe we can give a wild guess for what each of them means.
Okay.
I see the up house over here. Oh boy, I said we were gonna do this, so now we've got to do this. We've got the up house over here, and I jokingly said it's because of the Kevin carousel vehicle that's going to be in the new Animal Kingdom land.
Sure.
But actually, maybe some up entertainment is overdue. I would like to see an up show of some kind. Would be fun.
If I was going to guess, I would guess they were going to put something up related in the Tropical Americas section but not a carousel thing. In the Tropical Americas section that is coming to Animal Kingdom, whether it be entertainment or could they do food? I guess not really.
I don't know.
I can't think of any food related.
Maybe,
anyway.
Yeah, maybe it would just be like a Paradise Falls restaurant location or something, you know, with Tropical America food.
Paradise Falls could be Tropical America, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that was just a silly guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got up on here. This is the rocket ship from Lilo and Stitch. Maybe.
Oh, what's your guess there?
I'm probably talking about the movie that's coming up.
Yeah, but you think that's it? You think they would just talk about the movie and allude to it in the art?
Maybe they'll make an announcement about the movie. An earth-shattering.
That's fair. They're doing a CGI version of this movie. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So there's a castle up on a cliff.
Yeah, I think that might perhaps be the castle from like Wish or something. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, there's a castle. Maybe that's for Villain's Land.
Oh, maybe. Oh,
that would be cool. I would, if that's Sleeping Beauty Castle up on its high slopes, it would be really cool for them to perhaps make an announcement for what the attraction anchoring Villain's Land might be. That would be very fun.
Very cool. There's also a Nautilus in this art, which is the submarine from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Right.
Another
DVC bar lounge.
Yeah, that's a good guess. They are putting a Nautilus or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea bar on one of the newer Disney cruise ships.
Right.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we got one within the parks.
Yeah.
I don't think we're getting the ride back, but getting a bar, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's see how we do.
Yeah. Those are the things that stand out.
Yes. When August 29th to 31st rolls around, you can quote us and see how well we did on this one.
Yeah.
But either way, we're really excited for Destination D23. We're always excited for new announcements, even though sometimes
They break your heart.
They break your heart, and that actually has been every time D23 or Destination D23 rolls around, all of the Muppet fans around the world collectively hold their breath.
Yeah.
Because we're always terrified they're going to close Muppet Vision 3D.
Because it came out in 1991.
Yeah, it's old. It's not well attended.
Right. It's not well attended. I think that's the problem. I mean, you said not that long ago that some things had been redone into the theater, which is interesting. Although
I know, like a red herring, like they're throwing us off our game.
Yeah.
But they recently introduced projection mapping effects into Muppet Vision 3D, and they recently redid all of the seats in the theater. So that's quite the expense to immediately close the attraction.
Well, in the press release, it did say something about a Monsters Inc. theater show.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, they'll keep the chairs.
So they'll keep the Yeah.
That's great.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It was weird that they just made those changes and now they're turning around and saying they're going to close it. But yeah, those things probably will be kept from one version to the next, or maybe not. Who knows?
If not, that's just bad budgeting, I think I would say.
Yeah, right. What the heck? So this announcement was made. By the way, it's not D23 or Destination D23. This was out of the blue.
Out of the blue. Yeah, just
completely random. It seems.
Random Friday.
Right. So here we are on November 22nd. The Disney Parks blog, which is an official publication where Disney shares news and updates, shared an article titled "New Doors Open for Monsters and Muppets at Disney's Hollywood Studios," and I'm just going to read the relevant section here. Humans will be able to enter the world of Monsters, Inc. when it is added to the south side of Disney's Hollywood Studios. Building off the exciting announcements from last summer's D23, the new land will include the door coaster we've all dreamed of, a suspended ride recreating the door vault scene, plus dining and shopping, and a whole new theater show. That whole new theater show was not previously announced, and I think if it were, everyone would immediately know that they were taking over Muppet Courtyard, Grand Avenue.
Well, okay.
But because, there is a theater there. Well, I guess that's not necessarily true. They could have added it other places, but now we know it is true.
Well, and I have a question for you that you might not know the answer to, but
okay,
we'll give it a shot. Do you know? Have you heard anything recently about? So a while ago, like maybe even years ago, we were told we were getting a new version of the Little Mermaid show in Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about that recently?
Yes.
Because if they had said this then, I would be like, well, maybe that show's actually not going to make it. Okay, go on.
That would have been crazy. Oh my gosh. No, they announced an opening time frame for that show, actually. I don't remember what it is, but people were confused because they announced that
Sounds like people aren't that excited about it opening again.
I think it's a pretty minor change to the park, to be honest.
Well,
there was a Little Mermaid show. It went away. Now there is a Little Mermaid show, but slightly different. I feel like they're losing the buzz.
I thought it was supposed to be like a big change, like a big improvement.
They are redoing the whole show. So theoretically, it will be a big change to that building and that show. But in terms of the overall Hollywood Studios guest experience, where who knows if guests are even going to want to see a Little Mermaid show. Yeah, who knows.
Okay.
The second half of this announcement, though, is to make way for the monsters. Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, and more of their friends will be moving right along to Sunset Boulevard. But there's more to the story. The Muppets will be taking over Rock and Roller Coaster, teaming up with some of music's biggest stars for a Rockin' Music Festival. And they included this concept art poster for the new Rock and Roller Coaster. It features Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, Piggy and Kermit, all in a super stretch limousine ride car with a front license plate that reads Muppets. So it was a 2-for-1 double whammy.
Mm-hmm.
We've smelled in the air changes coming to both of these attractions for quite some time.
Yes.
The first stone for Aerosmith starring in Rock and Roller Coaster, whatever it's called, was that the Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster gift shop lost all of its Aerosmith stuff.
Yeah, and so in 2021, Aerosmith sold their whole collection to Universal Music Group.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that's when that started to fall apart.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
They have to renew that contract.
Yes.
So yeah.
And if Universal, they went to Universal, that's like
UMG.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that we've sensed, and the community has been talking about Powerline in there,
Yeah.
the Electric Mayhem in there. That
Hmm.
I've heard people say, and they were absolutely 100% correct. But we've also known for some time that Muppet Vision 3D is something that maybe we should be looking out for because they have been steadily de-Muppetizing that area for the past several decades, removing
Well,
features like the murals on the exterior brick walls.
yeah, but to begin with, they replaced. I'm just saying I'm confused because they closed down Pizza Planet
Uh
and
huh.
put in Rizzo's, which is a Muppet themed pizza place,
Yes.
which did terribly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody was ever there. Their operating hours were low.
It's seasonal.
Yeah,
The,
seasonal is always the last nail in the coffin.
exactly. And the retail location closed
Yes.
several years ago. There was a Muppets Nightmare Before Christmas shop there in Muppet Courtyard, now called Grand Avenue. It has been closed for several years. There was also a Christmas store back there with its famous "You May Have a Picture" with this concrete snowman
Yeah.
out front. That store has also been closed for several years. So when those things start happening, you start to think
You start to think, what are they planning?
they're looking at this
Yeah.
little space here.
Right.
And now we know exactly for what. There was also talk with this press release about what does this actually mean for Muppet Vision 3D,
Yes.
which is at this point still unclear.
Yes, it's unclear. And we have been seeing some other bloggers and whatnot reporting that they think it's being moved to Sunset Boulevard,
Mhm.
but that's not the way that I interpreted this press release. I interpreted it as the Muppets themselves were moving from Muppet Vision 3D to their new rock and roller coaster attraction.
Right.
Not that Muppet Vision 3D was moving, that the Muppets were moving,
Hmm.
like the individuals. um, I would love to see it over there. You said that there's a theater over there that you think they could do it.
Well, there is the entertainment venue directly next to Rock and Roller Coaster is called Sunset Showplace. It previously was nothing but a function hall where they would rent it out for big events in the park, and then they opened it up in the 2000s for something called Club Villain, which was a limited time show. After that, it returned to a hiatus like corporate booking space. And then after that, it opened what it currently has in it, which is the Lightning McQueen Racing Academy
Uh-huh.
show. So it is an entertainment venue. In the future, it will be home to I don't remember if they announced actually a title for that new villain show. There will be a new villains show coming into that space soon
Oh, okay. So that space is already accounted for.
that they announced. Yes.
Okay.
Disney did not announce how long it would be staying around, and Club Villain lasted, I believe, a year. Lightning McQueen, I believe this is either the second or third year of before it's closing and leaving. So it seems like this is a temporary entertainment venue.
Okay. So you don't think that there's much likelihood?
It's a little bit hard to know because they theoretically could turn that into a theater, like a full scale theater. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't seem terribly unlikely to me, especially because the area in front of the theater has no theme. So if they want to put the Miss Piggy fountain out there,
Yeah.
if they want to put Muppet stuff, if they want to fill that queue with Muppet stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be, first of all, it wouldn't be a great loss to lose a temporary entertainment flex space.
Right.
Whatever. And second of all, it doesn't seem that expensive to move a 4D show to me. Do I feel that it is likely? I feel like that's an entirely different question because there's so much.
Because it's still a 1991 film.
Yes, and there's so much we don't know about what they're thinking about Muppet Vision 3D, and this is what gives people the impression, I think, that that might be a possibility.
I think people just got confused by the wording that they're moving to Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, that I think is maybe that is confusing to people, but also there's this line: as we move forward with these changes, we are having creative conversations and exploring ways to preserve the film and other parts of the experience for fans to enjoy in the future. That already is open-ended and led to some speculation, but then paired with a subsequent statement from the Jim Henson Company, which is quite beautiful, and I recommend that people read it because it speaks about how this was Jim Henson's last project. It was a capstone for his career to
Mhm.
have an immersive Muppet experience that people could enjoy en masse at a theme park, and it was a big deal for him. But the last line is actually what people are most excited about, which is as we learn of the show's upcoming closure in its current form at Disney's Hollywood Studios, we look forward to Muppet Vision 3D's next act. Now, that is a little bit
Not
vague.
the Muppets next act, Muppet Vision 3D's next act.
Right.
Which that's the part that was missing in the Disney Parks blog. They
Mhm.
didn't say Muppet 3D Vision 3D is moving to Sunset Boulevard. They said
Right.
the Muppets are moving.
And then they said they were looking for ways to preserve the film and other parts of the experience for fans to enjoy in the future.
Right.
What does that mean? And
Yeah.
what does this mean?
Well, didn't you guess that it might mean Disney Plus?
That was the conclusion that I had originally arrived at after reading both of these things together. And I do still think that is very plausible. I think we're looking at two potential outcomes. I would think the most likely would be for this to be preserved in the form of Disney Plus by not only restoring the original completed film, but also capturing the performances of the live actor in the Sweetums suit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry to ruin the Muppet magic for everybody out there. But also capturing the animatronics on camera and then compiling all of that into a multicam version of the show for you to enjoy on Disney Plus, perhaps hosted by a celebrity or hosted by the Muppets themselves as a special. That makes a lot of sense in my brain.
Yeah.
The next outcome, which I think is less likely, it would be since they are moving the Muppets to Sunset Boulevard, and that area will essentially have to become a Muppet area of some kind. Is that they would also include the film in Sunset Showcase, perhaps as part of a more developed Muppet presentation, perhaps a walkthrough with some actual Muppets you can see, and then at the finale, it's the film, much like One Man's Dream is set up. Also in Hollywood Studios, I think that is a possibility. And I think the only reason I would not think that were a possibility unless they were opening a Muppet attraction. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're getting a Muppet themed roller coaster. So I don't think it's beyond the pale to perhaps imagine that they might include this film as part of that area as well. But I don't think there's enough information for anyone to say with any certainty that it is likely.
Okay.
You know?
All right. Fair.
It's a thinker.
Yeah. I kind of am guessing that it will be something like what you're talking about, not that the whole thing is just going to move.
Yeah, I doubt that the experience in its current form will be preserved, picked up, and moved. That feels very unlikely.
Right.
However, I think Disney Plus would actually be kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For that show.
Sure. Okay, so what are we talking about next?
We're talking about Rock and Roller Coaster.
Okay.
So we've got this concept art, and they also vaguely hinted that the Muppets will be teaming up with some of music's biggest stars for a rock and music festival. And I kind of just wanted to talk about what we think this might look like or be or what that means. It's such a vague amount of information. There's no way we could make a real educated guess, but I would love for it to continue in the theme of being a surprise. Like every when you get on it, you don't know what kind of music you'll get.
Okay. Oh yeah.
The Muppets might team up with a different musician for each Super Stretch limo.
You think that it dates it for them to be. Then they wind up with the same problem.
Yeah. Maybe they're thinking.
Although this worked for 20 years or whatever. So.
But did it work for 20 years?
No, it worked for 10.
Or have we been talking about it changing for 10 years?
Yeah.
If they do partner with multiple different musicians, though, perhaps that makes it easier for them to swap them out for more relevant musicians in the future.
Mm.
Maybe that's what they're thinking. I would love to hear now, based on the line they're teaming up with famous musicians, it makes me think they're not going to play Muppet music during the actual ride. And I have to say, that makes me sad. I almost wish it were
Yeah.
Muppet music.
But based on the art, don't you think it's that band, the Muppet band? What's it called?
The
Mayhem?
Electric Mayhem.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love to see. Wouldn't it be so fun to get animatronic Muppets in this?
Yeah, where?
Perhaps in the loading area, some Muppets scattered throughout the city. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Because you're in that cityscape environment.
Yeah.
And it lends itself to puppeteering because Sesame Street is famously filmed on a city block set. I think the aesthetic would definitely go. Here's what I would hate to happen. They basically leave it the same and include some like Muppet static figures and narration and a pre-show.
Okay, but that's what I think is going to happen. And my concern anytime they are talking about retheming, or anytime we've even talked about retheming a roller coaster, even in our armchair Imagineering, is that this roller coaster is a great roller coaster, but it's already getting to where it's not smooth anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if it started off smooth and has gotten to where it's not as smooth anymore, or maybe what we expect has changed, because the roller coasters that are coming out now, like Guardians,
I feel like you're levitating.
Yes, or even in Mine Train, or the newer roller coasters have a very smooth
right.
Ride to them.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to retheme this and not improve on the ride feel makes me nervous.
Well, given Tiana's Bayou Adventure,
right,
it feels like that is almost certain that they're not going to do anything to it. Yeah. They will instead be retheming it.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate. I
do think that's unfortunate, and I'm also worried. Here's my worst case scenario, and unfortunately, I feel like it is not likely or unlikely, just possible. I feel like it's possible that Muppet Vision 3D is closed. That's for certain. Replaced by a not good Monsters Inc. show. I'm not saying this will happen. I'm saying this is the worst case scenario.
You mean like the moving laugh floor, or making a new one and it just not being good?
Making another bad one.
Okay.
Muppet Vision 3D being replaced by another bad Monsters Inc. show, and Rock and Roller Coaster being replaced by a lazy Muppet overhaul.
I'm worried about that too.
If both of those things do happen, then Disney actually fails to do what it is trying to do, which is to save the hearts of Muppet fans by giving them something.
Right.
A cheap overhaul of Rock and Roller Coaster,
when you had to do it anyway,
is actually kind of disrespectful.
It is kind of disrespectful
to the legacy of Jim Henson, who actually really believed in Muppet Vision 3D and really, it's just, I feel like that's the worst case scenario.
Could they make it a 3D roller coaster?
I don't know. I've never been on a 3D roller coaster. Is that a thing? I know a VR roller coaster is a thing, but I'm afraid to ride them because of motion sickness.
Sure. I'm just trying to think of a world where they kind of combine some of the things that were innovative about Muppet Vision 3D with a roller coaster.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
It would involve some screens and possibly 3D glasses on a roller coaster, which is wild. I don't know. But
I don't know, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll save it for
you wouldn't be able to go on it, but you would.
Oh, I would. I would force myself. Down a bottle of Dramamine.
A whole bottle. I was just thinking that.
1 bottle of Dramamine per trip.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm concerned. So my thoughts and feelings on Rock and Roller Coaster turning into the Muppets,
please,
is just a concern.
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree.
I mean, historically for us, when we go into stuff concerned,
This
we
is
wind
gonna
up
suck.
yeah,
We love it.
we wind up loving it. So maybe that's a good thing.
This is good. We're
Yeah.
keeping our expectations appropriately
Low.
low.
Yeah.
And I know that doesn't sound like we're Disney fans at all, but in fact, that is the way to enjoy Disney
Life,
stuff
I think.
and life and life in general. It's true. Is to expect nothing.
Yeah, I think actually we were having an issue with being such huge, trusting Disney super fans.
And it's their fault, actually,
Yes.
because they lulled us into
Yes,
that sense.
that we were actually causing harm to ourselves basically by having these wildly high expectations because they've done so many things that we've loved that are part of our like DNA at this point,
Right.
that we're going into everything with these so high expectations and then being let down.
Right. Because we're like, oh, it's Disney. They
Yeah.
have more money than God. They're
Yeah.
the most creative people in the world.
Yeah.
This is going to be a smash.
Right.
So if it's anything less than a smash,
Right.
we're like, what is this? The
So-
state fair?
Yeah. So I think it's fair for us at this point to, especially after Tiana's, you know what I mean?
Right.
To go in with low expectations and hope for the best.
Yeah, and it's the Muppets, so maybe the charm of the Muppets will aid them in
Yeah.
selling something really charming. I
Yeah.
would love,
And I mean, the Muppets are not falling from it hasn't gotten to the point where it's only like older people that like them, which is something
Yeah.
that you have to worry about with everything.
Yeah.
We had to worry about this with Aerosmith, for example.
Yeah.
Like, do the kids even know who Aerosmith is? You know what I mean?
Nope.
Do the are new generations going to keep caring about this music?
Right.
But the Muppets are still there's still Muppet stuff coming out.
Right.
I will watch Muppet Haunted Mansion every year now.
Yeah.
And that just came out at Halloween. And that just came out like 2 years ago, right?
Right, yeah.
I think a lot of kids still watch Muppet Christmas Carol, and then they incorporated the Muppets into Jollywood. You know what I mean? They're not going away,
No.
which is good.
And the feature films have done fairly well. The Muppet film, and the Muppets and Muppets Most Wanted, both did well at the box office. So, the Muppet cultural influence is ongoing.
Which is great, and it's honestly something I was worried about, especially prior to the Muppet Haunted Mansion movie.
Yeah.
I was like, this is turning into something that's, because technology has advanced to a point where puppets don't really make sense anymore.
Yeah.
So for them to kind of age out would make sense, but they're not, and I'm really happy to say that.
Right. They're instead surviving in a almost like nostalgic kind of
kitschy kind of way.
Yeah. But it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
I don't know if you saw that the actual Jim Henson production studio is also being sold.
I did not. Oh my goodness.
So all of that
news. Wait, to whom?
Actually, I don't remember.
Okay. Well, while you're looking that up, can I tell you something stupid that has broken my heart about this announcement?
Yeah.
There is no way Mama Melrose is surviving this.
Absolutely not.
I was looking at the concept art to try to figure out where Mama Melrose is, and I think it's going to be Harryhausen's.
Yeah. I agree.
And I'm just really heartbroken about it.
It is actually so sad to lose Mama Melrose, because we really enjoy, yes, the Italian food, but the atmosphere in there.
The atmosphere in there, for me, it's nostalgia. And this is one of the kind of fewer restaurants that we really love the atmosphere of, that also we're not breaking the bank by going to.
Yeah.
You can get a solid entree for like $25.
Absolutely.
And that's all you need to spend. You know what I mean?
It's a big portion of food.
Yes. And it's that, it's California Italian. And I just really like it. And I'm going to miss it a lot.
I know. This whole section.
I doubt it's getting moved. It doesn't fit anywhere anymore.
No. The answer is that John Mayer, the musician, and director MCG are purchasing the studio lot for Jim Henson Company.
John Mayer?
Yeah, so presumably to turn it into a music production facility would be my guess.
Oh, wait, so they just bought the land.
They bought, the land where they make the Muppet stuff.
Okay. Well, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, they
I
can
thought you
move.
meant that they bought the company.
Oh, no, no, no. They didn't buy the company.
So the Muppets can still continue.
Yeah,
They just are going to have to film somewhere else.
they can make stuff. They're just losing their historic production facility and their theme park attraction in the same year.
Okay,
That's
and
all.
that is sad. I'm not saying that's not sad, but
No, yes.
it's not
Not directly
it's not
related.
end
No.
days.
No, thank goodness. Something that is end days, though, is the Muppets slash Nightmare Before Christmas building. That store that existed there in this concept art is completely razed to the ground and demolished and replaced with trees.
That's what. Okay, I was like, maybe I'm wrong about it being Harryhausen's because there's no building there. But you're right. You think they would just demolish it? They would. No way, right?
Well, that's what the concept art shows. They put it looks like a little park or something here, or maybe not, just trees. But that is definitely the site of the Muppet Studio or the Muppet Nightmare Before Christmas shop. Most recently, it was used during Jollywood Nights to be a photo opportunity, but
It's being used as that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the Muppets, you guys.
Right. But apart
Sorry.
from that, no, it's true. But apart from that, it has not been used at all for the past several years.
I guess I get it because this building really blocks your, you know how like once you're back there, you're passing Muppet Vision on the right and you're
Yeah.
going back there. You kind of have to like wander to find, like Mama Melrose is hard to find
It
for some
is.
people.
It is in the old school theme park planning notion of exploring the space
Yeah.
to find stuff.
Right.
That's not really a thing anymore.
Right.
Now
right.
it's much more about flow of traffic,
Yes.
direct sight line,
Right.
selling tickets to Henryhausen or not
Harryhausen.
tickets,
Yeah.
selling
Yeah. Reservations.
food.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder if that was the problem with the Christmas store is like you'd have to really like go find it.
Walk back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after Pizza Planet was gone and Rizzo's wasn't doing well. Like you had no reason to walk back there.
Right.
I mean, I did because I like Mama Melrose.
Yeah, we have reservations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that will be a major shakeup. It's looking like almost a certainty that that restaurant will be built, though. So that's exciting.
What, Harryhausen's?
Yep.
It looks so tall. I don't bet that could be
Yeah.
picture force perspective.
Yeah, I doubt this will actually look like this.
Oh, you think?
When it opens, well, yes, just given the overhead perspective already, it looks bigger than it is in real life.
I bet they will have this eyeball.
Yeah, of course. They got to have the iconic facade.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I guess it's cut for budget reasons, because we thought that was true about the tree at the top of Tiana's
That's
Bayou
true.
Adventure.
That's true. So I wonder if they're going to put a quick serve over where Pizza Rizzo's is.
It feels inevitable that they're
going to put pizza there.
That they'll put some type of quick serve, something in there. I would be delighted if they maybe did some type of meet and greet / interactive dining in there. Would be very cool. For Monsters Inc. I don't know what that would be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you eat in Monstropolis or the Monsters
Inc.
All
we know is the Harryhausen's, right? We know what they eat there. It's like hibachi, sushi, or something. And
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you can tell, we are skeptical about Monstropolis. I'm sure the door coaster will be fabulous.
Oh my god, I can't wait for the door coaster. So so that is so exciting.
Yes.
And the space in the concept art where they put the door coaster, there's nothing there right now. Am I correct?
Cast parking.
Cast parking is what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're just gonna. That's fine. I mean, I
don't know what they're gonna do because theoretically.
If I were them,
I don't know what they're gonna do because cast parking there, from what I understand about cast parking, is full all the time in Hollywood Studios.
Okay, there is such an easy and expensive
parking garage.
Yes, parking garage.
Yeah,
what the flip, cool. Dude?
Yeah,
parking garage.
They're gonna have to paint it green.
Go away green.
Another light blue building.
Yeah, that's fine.
In our skyline.
It doesn't need to be right there, though. You know what I mean? It could be a little further with a. They do like bus transportation for cast members in some of the different parks. So
get on a go-kart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really excited for this door coaster. A suspended coaster at Walt Disney World is so intriguing to me. I can't wait to see who's building it, and I can't wait to see what the track is like.
Mm-hmm.
That's honestly about the end of our list of changes that are coming to Hollywood studios, at least for now. And just a reminder, this was not D23, this was not Destination D23. They have dropped major land reconfigurations on us just out of the blue.
Why do you think there's a reason that we're not unaware of?
That they're not doing this at D23.
Yeah, that they had to do it now. Something happened.
I
Do you
think
think something got leaked? Do you think Aerosmith is about to throw a fit and have a press conference?
I think the reason is there was I hesitate to even mention this. There
Come
was
on, we like the drama.
there was relatively well believed information that Disney had intended to announce that Monstropolis would be coming to a specific venue. They were going to announce the location of the land, and then at the very last minute,
At D23.
And then at the very last minute decided not to. And I think this is the reason. It's because they wanted the applause of announcing the door coaster and not the boos of closing Muppet Vision 3D.
Smart.
Yeah.
Although they are trying to. Wouldn't you be so much more upset if they didn't say, now we're going to put Muppets in Rock and Roller Coaster? Or would you not?
It's hard to tell, because if that attraction ends up being disappointing for Muppets fans and Rock and Roller Coaster fans,
right,
then I feel
but
that
the
it would make it
alternative would be
worse.
them in the Haunted Mansion Cemetery.
The Muppets?
Yeah. Well, right
Yeah.
along with Mr. Toad. Like, just sorry you're gone.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I am glad. You know, the answer is I am glad they're doing something with the Muppets.
Yeah,
because
it could be great.
It could. That is very true. I know we did discuss the worst case scenario. Shall we discuss the best case scenario?
Well, I tried with. It's hard. That's where I was going when I was thinking about if they could do a 3D roller coaster.
Oh yeah.
But what do you think the best case scenario? You want animatronics, you said.
Yeah, budget would be the best case scenario.
Sure.
Right? Would be them putting.
Can they smooth out the track? I'm not an engineer, so I don't know what's wrong.
Retracking roller coasters, to me, and I am also not an engineer, famously not a doctor, definitely not an engineer, and also not an accountant. So I don't know about the money, but I do know that one of the most expensive things you can do for a roller coaster is to retrack it.
Okay. Well, I don't know if the track is the problem. It could be the cars. It could be. I don't. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
It would be great if they ended up with a full track refurbishment. That would, obviously, I think that is actually the best case scenario.
Yeah, and it's not that it's bad. You know what I mean? We still ride. I mean, I actually don't ride Space Mountain much anymore because of the kind of ricketiness.
It's uncomfortable.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and I feel like if they're going to redo this, but not do something to improve the ride feel, that it's going to wind up being like that. But you and I don't go on it, but everybody else does. You know what I mean?
Right. Very true. And I think that, if anything, maybe new attention on Rock and Roller Coaster will encourage renewed interest in the attraction. Maybe retracking would be the best case scenario. I don't know, in terms of Muppet integration, what would be the best case scenario. I think it, like you said, some innovative incorporation of the things that made Muppet Vision 3D would
I will put money on that pre-show being 3D.
That would be really cool.
Even if it's only maybe they'll just make the pre-show a little longer, but then they'd have to make the rooms a little bit bigger. But like the pre-show, I just can't see them not doing that, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
That would be like a throw to, like
to the show.
Yeah.
To Muppet Vision 3D. That would be great. I am interested in what they do with the animatronics. You want a whole new story, though. I would be.
You don't want us late to the concert.
I'm okay with this. If that's the story, that's fine. I don't even, whatever the story ends up being is okay. I just would hope that at the very least, if there's going to be Muppets in Rock and Roller Coaster, what are we doing with the Statler and Waldorf animatronics? Are we putting them in the ride at all?
Are we gonna see them show up in a rotting in a I just don't want to. I love them.
I know. We've got an entire band of animatronic penguins
Oh yeah.
that were very expensive, famously.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're individually articulated and programmed, so they all do their own.
This was the stormtroopers of back in the day.
It was. It was. And there's the Swedish
They
chef
each do their own thing.
in the back as well.
Why did they spend that much money on penguins?
Because they each play an instrument, and Jim Henson insisted.
Okay.
Yeah. And they've got the Swedish chef as well, who's in animatronic form in Muppet Vision 3D. And I would love to see those animatronics reused thoughtfully, is my answer to the best case scenario.
They could take the Statler and Waldorf and put it at the end of the ride.
Yeah, I'm down
and
for
so
that.
They're like making fun of us as we get off.
I love it. That would be great.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
I'm totally fine with that.
I'm not fine with finding out that they're like rotting somewhere.
I know. That would be awful. They won't let that happen.
Yeah. So like for famous musicians, do you have any hopes if they actually are human famous musicians?
I would have to assume that it will be acts with which Disney has partnered before. Fall Out Boy has contributed music to Big Hero 6 and to other music. They're a very popular pop rock act. So
I would think more of some like artists that span all the, like a Taylor Swift.
They wish.
Yeah, they wish.
Do you think they've got Taylor Swift money?
I don't know. If I were Taylor Swift, I would volunteer. But
to team up with the Muppets, me too.
Yeah.
If I were Taylor Swift,
you don't need any more money, girl.
Yeah, her management might have a different feel. I think that maybe I feel like classic musicians make sense to me, but
then you don't want to get
for who?
Yeah,
right. That's a tough question to answer because my original thought was Elton John for some reason makes sense with me
because he's still cranking out hits even though he's in his 70s for sure. I agree,
and I think he's largely liked by America.
Agreed.
I think my final answer is Muppet Bohemian Rhapsody: The Ride. What do you think?
Oh my god. Okay.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's great. The Muppets on the Muppet Show recreated Bohemian Rhapsody to some fanfare. And that would be fun because, as you may know, Queen was one of the bands that was originally going to be considered for Rock and Roller Coaster. So I don't know. Maybe that would be fun.
Hey, Disney, this is your perfect opportunity when you're making this video to go ahead and create a Christmas overlay. Ooh. Just do it now. Just do it now.
Well,
you
you're
have to
thinking
think about it later. It's just done. Let's do a Muppets Christmas Carol rockin'.
One more sleep till Christmas.
Yeah.
All right.
Just saying. Our Christmas overlays just make me so mad.
Yeah.
I mean, our lack of Christmas overlay.
And when we do get them, sometimes they're questionable. All right, well, we will see how this all plays out. We're big Muppet Vision fans, and we're big Rock and Roller Coaster fans. So,
and to be fair, we are fans of Monsters Inc. and the Door Coaster.
Absolutely, just not what they've done with them in the theme park. But that's
not yet.
Right.
Not yet.
And
the Monsters Inc. ride in Disneyland California Adventure is very cute.
Oh, Mike and Sully to the rescue.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's it's like a redo of that celebrity
Superstar limo.
Yeah.
Of course.
Comical. Anyway, very cute. I just don't like Laugh Floor. That's it, right? I just don't like Laugh Floor.
I think so, yeah. They
Which
haven't
is
done
sad because I
so
love the movie. I love the Monsters Inc. movie. I love the characters. I just don't like bullying people.
I am particularly interested in what this theater show will be because surely they will
what could it possibly
duplicate Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor,
right?
They won't
you wouldn't do that,
right?
would you? Well, yeah, if they moved it there and then did something new in Tomorrowland, that might make sense.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, but
I actually almost had a heart attack because, well, first of all, because the Miss Piggy fountain has been replaced
by an eyeball
eyeball fountain in this one. But in the new concept art, there's a billboard on top of the buildings.
Oh, it says Laugh.
And when I first saw it, I thought it said Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, and I very nearly had a heart attack because
Are you sure it doesn't?
No, because I thought that was confirmation that they were gonna move it.
I mean, that is what it says.
What?
But it's just a billboard. That doesn't mean that's what's happening.
Oh my god. Hopefully Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor does not replace Muppet Vision 3D. That's the actual worst case scenario.
Yeah, that would be very sad.
That would be hard.
Would you be less sad if they put something amazing in Tomorrowland, though?
I don't want to have to rely on
Why
them.
would they do that? They're not going to do that. The Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, like, it's not. I get that I'm unusual for not liking it because of the
No,
bullying.
that's
but
not true.
But yeah, it's not that true.
The wait times are low.
The wait times are low. So I don't think they'd bother moving it.
I hope.
That would be cheap. That would upset me.
I hope this is just like a tribute billboard. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that happens.
Like how they've got a Disney California Adventure billboard in Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, that's
for
gotta be
Paradise.
Floor.
Yeah, that's definitely the Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor logo.
Mm.
So that's terrifying.
But it's not by the show.
But it's not by the show, and hopefully it's just concept art.
Yeah. Hopefully it's just concept.
And we know it's not because they said a new.
Yeah, okay, good point.
A new theater show. So it won't be Laugh Floor. It's just going to be some new Monsters Inc. thing. And hopefully, for their sake, it's amazing.
Hopefully.
I am looking forward to Monstropolis, and I hope that Monstropolis is awesome.
Yes.
The door coaster is so exciting.
I can't imagine what kind of show they would do. Yeah, I can't.
Maybe a variety act.
Oh, that would be fun.
Fun, right?
Oh, you know what? Yeah. That would be perfect. At the end of the first one, they're practicing that song, and they're like, "Oh, it's for the talent show. Put that kid back."
The talent show.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Let's do that.
Monsters Inc. talent show.
We figured it out.
Okay, I would be happy with that.
I would too, if there's no bullying.
Yeah, if there's no insult comedy. All right, that's gonna wrap up our thoughts.
I'm so picky
on these announcements. It's crazy how much is coming out in the news, and we'll continue to monitor these updates as they come. Maybe we'll learn more details about these projects at this upcoming Destination D23.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for this rock and roller coaster Muppet takeover. If you would like to continue this conversation, we would love to see you on our social media accounts. We are on Instagram and TikTok at Neverland Navco.
Yes, we also have an Etsy store called Neverland Navigation on Etsy, where we do custom shirts and dish towels and sweatshirts. Yeah, Jake's wearing one. So if you send us a message, that's the easiest way to do it. I can't not post everything. I really leave it up to my customers sending us a message and saying, "Hey, Kermit's my favorite," or whatever. I want a Muppet Vision 3D shirt. Just send me a message.
Waka waka.
I can make you a Muppet Vision 3D shirt.
Absolutely.
Or whatever. So that's Neverland Navigation at Etsy.
I need a Muppet Vision 3D shirt.
You
if
sure
they're going to
do.
close it, I'm going to get a tattoo.
Yeah. Oh.
For the love of. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And until our next act, we'll see you on our next episode. Adventure.
It's fine.
Bye.
Bye.